Hi, welcome to Button Isles. I wanted to create this channel to be a community of inspiration for people pursuing their artistic pursuits. And today I wanted to share with you the choices that I made in starting my own art business. I've been selling stuff for my parents for as long as I can remember. They put me on stage when I was about 4 years old, and we would go to churches all around the area every other weekend, and we would perform in front of crowds as large as 250 people. We had a music band, we had a puppetry group, my mom had a non-profit organization, and my dad was self-employed. He started his own business. So I come from a really entrepreneurial family, and it's really admiring to look back on the things that I was taught whenever I was a kid. And I started really applying those beliefs and thoughts as I started growing up. Poogie, come here. Well, I'm trying in the video. I'm trying. Everybody say hi to Poogie. Yeah, okay, go run off. I remember when I was in 4th grade, I started a stick figure business. There's cat hair all over the air now. I started a stick figure drawing business where for just 1 penny you could choose all the accessories, and I would put together this stick figure that looked like you. It had all different kinds of hats it could wear, it had different types of like pets and accessories, and everything that you added cost an additional penny. Theoretically, my goal was to have enough money to buy a fruit by the foot at the cafeteria, but I remember starting businesses ever since I was a kid, so it's always been something that I've wanted to do. So I've been selling my art for a really long time. Putting it together in this format is what's new though, and that's what I wanted to share with you. So the first step to creating your art business is having sellable content. Now, I came from this history of already having all these artistic pursuits. So I already had a bin full of products that I've been taking to craft shows and consignment shops and all over the place for quite some time. It's just the first time that I've compiled it all into one space, took lots of pictures of it, and put it somewhere on the internet for people to purchase. I'm sure you've recognized the little bats that I started making in 2020. They are really popular. They've been in stores, they've been online, I've been selling them on my personal social medias and everything. So I had a lot of these hanging around that I just put all together, and this was my sellable content. Some other things that I know to sell that sell really well, things like plushies, stickers, crochet projects, original art like paintings. As your business grows, you can add more product, but keep it simple to begin with. Step 2 is to find a place to sell your stuff. Whether you're posting pictures on your personal social media for your friends and family to purchase, sharing them on places like Facebook Marketplace, going to craft and vendor shows. Lots of churches in the areas have craft shows, especially around the spring and around fall. Research your options of ways that you could get your art out there. You could sell on Etsy, although Etsy takes lots of fees out, so make sure you research. You could sell your stuff on Redbubble. You could sell your stuff on Instagram. You could use Shopify, consignment shops in your area. When I first started selling my bats, I was selling them on my Facebook, and then I found a local consignment shop. They were very excited to have them. I put them in the consignment shop. They were there for about 11 months, and I didn't sell a single bat. So I took them out. I figured I could sell more of them on my social media than in the consignment shop, and then I didn't have to pay the fees to have them in the consignment shop. A couple months later, I found a different consignment shop, and I tried them there, and they sell like hotcakes at that consignment shop. I can't keep them on the shelves. It's a different demographic. It's a different type of people who shop there. It's in a different area. Consignment shops, they take a fee, but they definitely get your name out there. And whenever you start making things like plushies and you put your Instagram handle on the tags, then people know where to fall back on, and they're able to find your art and follow you. I chose this time to sell on Shopify. So far, I've really liked Shopify. It was really easy to set up a website. It was really easy to buy a domain name. It costs about $30 a month, and they take care of a lot of things for you. So you just don't have to worry, like point of sale and taxes and all that stuff. It's all taken care of. That makes it a lot easier, so I would recommend Shopify. One of the perks of having your own website versus selling off something like Etsy is that your website can match your artwork. Step 3 is develop a branding. I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to start an art business, and no one really talks about your brand. Branding is really important when it comes to marketing. It's really important when it comes to getting attention to you, getting your content out there. Developing a branding is one of the most intimidating things to people because you have to pick a name for your shop. And a lot of people get hung up on this. The name that I chose, Button Isles, was actually the island name in my Animal Crossing game in 2020. I've chosen that because it's really unique and it sounds like the button aisle at a craft store. But it's also Button Isles as in a button island. And I thought it was punny. It's just the name that I ran with because no one else had it, and it was really special to me because it represented that time during quarantine whenever I was playing Animal Crossing until 3 o'clock with all of my friends, and we were having parades with tambourines and fireworks. Those were good times. Part of developing your branding is considering your name, considering a logo, considering a theme for your business, a theme for your website. You could consider variations of your themes. For example, whenever I develop clothing, I like my clothing brand to be Antique Kiss. But if the clothing has a little bit more of a gothic feel to it, I like it to be Anti Kiss, as in the antithesis of a kiss, which sounds way more gothic, but when you're saying them together, it sounds like the same name. Antique Kiss, right? So considering having alterations of your brand name in order to follow different aesthetics is definitely something that you could pursue. There are two types of customers. There are people who buy art because they think it looks nice, and there are people who buy art because they want to support you. My cats. And that's what a lot of people in YouTube videos that talk about starting their art business don't consider. Creating a community is a huge important part of branding. And you can do that easily once you figure out these things by using all of the social media platforms you can. Things like streaming, Patreon, Discord. I mean, back in the day we went to art galleries to buy artwork. And you had to work with a museum curator who thought that your content was good enough. But right now, the world is at our fingertips. We have galleries on our Instagrams. We have galleries in our photos on our phones. We just need to get them out there. Nowadays, there are people out there who would love your art if they just knew that it existed. Like, seriously, when I was in 4th grade and I started that stick figure business, I had people in my class who were claiming that I ripped the idea off of them, and my mother walked me through copywriting my stick figure business by mailing it to myself so that whenever they claimed that it was their business first, I could present them with the time-stated envelope to say, no, it's mine. These characters were mine. This idea was mine. Like, people want your art. People want creativity. And what better time is there to do it than now? Step 4, deciding what to sell. There's so many things that are sellable out there. With one art print, I could put it on notebooks, t-shirts, mugs, postcards. I can put one artwork on so many different things, and that's decision fatigue because of the amount of things that there are out there to do, the amount of things that there are out there to sell, the amount of things that they are out there to create. So you want to narrow it down, pick your things you're going to sell, and stick to them. But if you're like overwhelming your community with products and content, they're less likely to purchase anything. You also want to have a variety of price points. Have things that are cheaper and have things that are more expensive. Whenever I started creating bats, I made standard bats that were made out of fleece, and they were cheaper. And then I made things like this bat, which was made out of an upcycled sweater. And because of all of the detail and how hard it was to sew, this bat is significantly more expensive than a standard bat. If somebody wants one of my bats, they could just buy one of my bats. But if somebody wants this piece of art, they're going to pay a little bit more for it. Having things at different price points is really beneficial. It's also important to note that if you are under marketing your products, people are going to think that they're cheap. If you feel like there's no way I can charge $130 for a crocheted hat, even though it took me 5 hours to make, and $20 in supplies. I understand. It's scary to ask that much money for something that you've poured your soul into, especially if you don't think that your soul is worth that much. Let me say that again. It's scary to ask that much money for something that you've poured your soul into, especially when you don't believe that your soul is worth that much money. But you need to respect yourself and you need to respect your art. Don't undersell your products. You need to pay yourself a respectful wage. That's really hard for a lot of us to do, mainly because we don't respect ourselves. But it's really hard for a lot of us to do in this type of setting because businesses are expensive and you have to buy all this equipment, you have to buy all these supplies, and now I'm paying for Shopify and I had to buy a printer and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I get it. Starting a business is expensive. And if you start small and you're selling on Facebook and you're selling at craft shows, you can pay yourself a respectful wage. Consider how much time you've put into a project. Put the price tag on it of $130 and mark it on sale. People will know what it's worth when it's at full price. And they'll think they're getting a deal by buying it cheaper. But at least you're communicating your expectations for that product. And as your popularity grows and as your content gets out there all over the place and people start really valuing you and you start really valuing you, then you can take the sale off and charge the price that it's supposed to be. Step 5 is create a wish list. Now, this isn't in any business startup video I have seen on YouTube, and trust me, I've watched a lot of our business startup videos on YouTube. Research the items that you need to make your business efficient, compile it onto a wish list on Amazon, and add it to your Linktree accounts, add it to your social medias, share it with your friends and your family. People are going to want to support you pursuing your dreams, and it's very possible that they might go onto that wish list and just buy something from it to help your startup costs. In my example, because I had entrepreneurial people in my life, when I said, this is the thing that I want to pursue, they said, I just have this sitting in my garage. I just have that sitting in my basement. Here's the things that you are asking for that I haven't touched in years. And they gave them to me. You never know what financial leaders are in your life until you ask. And asking is really humbling and it's really hard because we don't want to appear weak to people. But there are people in your life that want to see you succeed. There are people who love you and want to support you. They just don't know how. And unless you're communicating it with them, they're never going to know how. So create the wish list. Post it on your socials. See if anybody bites, but use it as a goal list for you as you keep making sales. Purchase something off your wish list. As a side note, Patreon also has a section in it where you can create goals. If you get this many subscribers, then you can reach this goal. And that might be another really good way to communicate and keep yourself accountable for those things that you need for your business. Step 6, social media. This is a doozy. A lot of people recommend that you create your own specific social media accounts for your businesses. And I have to say that I disagree. Like I said above, there are 2 types of people in the world who buy art. There are people who buy it because it's pretty, and there are people who buy it because it's you, and it's your soul, and it's your heart, and it's your hands, and it's your passion. If people just bought art because it's pretty, there would be a lot more people buying art created by AI generators. But the fact that us as humans have these emotions that those AI generators will never have is what makes your art desirable. I hate to say it, but selling your art is selling you. So why hide yourself from your business? Why not embrace it? People who are following your business accounts aren't there to get ads. People are overwhelmed with ads on all social medias in all ways. They don't want to just see your products. They want to see you. They want to see how you create them. They want to see what you had for breakfast today, how your kids are involved in creating the things that you're creating. They definitely, absolutely want to see your pets. These are things that people want to see, and they're all things that you post on your personal social media accounts. So why separate them? You already have a following. I hate to say something negative, but I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this video have over 500 friends on Facebook, and I doubt that you know every single one of those people. Sometimes people just follow you because your profile picture looked great. I get that a lot. Sometimes people follow you because they passed you in the hall in high school 17 years ago and are curious what you're up to now. Well, show them. Show them your art. Show them the things that you create and how you want to get those things out into the world. You would be surprised how many people would engage with that. People struggle all the time to separate art versus artist in just everyday modern world. I mean, look at this whole Harry Potter mess of people who adopted such a piece of art as their identity and felt so betrayed by what the creator was posting on their personal social media accounts. If creating a community is something that you're interested in doing, as well as selling your art, be careful about your political posts on your social media accounts. If you're going to bash a social group, that social group is going to come out and they're going to speak their mind. And if you have issues with that, then separating your business account from your personal account might be the right answer for you. Pookie! Stop! You want to get on every social media platform that you can. Everything from YouTube to Patreon, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Because different types of people favor different types of social media accounts. The older generation favors Facebook, the younger generation favors TikTok, and if you want to have a wide demographic of people who are seeing your art and seeing your content, you want to get on every single one of those social media accounts. Different social media accounts are made for different types of content, but it's important to do some research on what people look for whenever they're going onto these social media accounts. When people are on Instagram, are they just mindlessly scrolling for memes and cat videos, or are they like seeing things that inspire them, seeing travel, beautiful places, seeing fitness and yoga and instructors and seeing what you're creating? There are different interests for each different type of social media, and that's why there's so many out there. So research what type of content each social media has. And please, for the love of God, post different content on each social media site. Do not share the same information on Facebook and Instagram, because that really narrows down your followers. If people are following you on both Facebook and Instagram and they see the same content over and over again, they're going to get annoyed and they're going to stop following you. Versus if you have a post on Instagram and a post on Facebook that are different, and then in Instagram stories you said, hey, I posted something on Facebook. And in Facebook stories you said, hey, I posted something on Instagram. People know to check both. Same goes for TikTok and blogs and everything. YouTube. When I post this video on my YouTube channel, you know I'm going to be putting a thumbnail of it in my Instagram stories to tell people that I made a YouTube channel. Cross-promoting your social media accounts is the way to do it to get the most information out there. Now, that does sound exhausting because now instead of running one social media account, you're running 5 social media accounts, and that's just your business, not including your personal, and it gets overwhelming. And that's why you should really start small. Getting something out there is better than getting nothing out there, because if nothing is out there, no one will see you. But if something is out there, someone might. I am struggling so much with speaking, and I don't want to be. Blah, 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 blah. Be consistent. A lot of social media accounts like consistency. These apps want people to stay on their apps, and that's what your content does for them. So if you're going to be consistent and post consistently, the algorithm is more likely to favor you. And the best way to do that is by creating a content calendar where every day you have pre-planned what your posts are. You can schedule them ahead of time, or you can batch record videos or TikToks or batch photograph or Whatever you need to do to be able to have content for a week, you could just do in a day, and then it's not so bad. It's really important to allow yourself to fail. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was, in the beginning, you have to decide if you're going to post content that you want to share, or if you're going to post content that people want to see. If you post content that people want to see, you're likely to have more views. But it's not going to feel as authentic. It's not going to feel as fulfilling. If you post content that you want to share, you might not get as many views, but it will be way more fulfilling. You're not compromising your morals or your character or anything. And I implore you, share what you want to share. Following trends is great. You could do it on the side, get attention to your account, share what you want to share. And don't get so caught up on the view count. If something flops, it's okay. Allow yourself to fail. Everybody starts somewhere. And social media is the same thing. You just have to start. And I'm saying this to myself more than I'm saying it to this camera in this empty room. Starting is better than waiting until you're perfect at something. Because if you wait until you're perfect, you may never try. Step 7 I call more and more. Keep yourself accountable for creating new product. Even if that's not a brand new product, like in regards to my stuffed animals. I make bats. I haven't been able to figure out how to make anything else. I make bats. A new product doesn't have to be a new plushie. It could just be a bat in a different color. It could be a bat in a different texture. It could be a bat with things inside of it that make it jingle or that you can fidget with. A new product is a new product. If you keep yourself accountable with uploading new products, then you'll have a consistent following. Everybody will know when to expect your new product launches. Some content creators hold everything that they can until this very specific day, and then they drop it all in one moment, and it sells out in less than an hour. And that is one of the most frustrating experiences as a consumer I've ever experienced. I have followed artists, I have watched their countdowns, I've set alarms, gone onto their website at the moment of drop, I've added things to my cart, I checked out, and it was already sold out within like 5 minutes of their account dropping. It's very frustrating. A lot of artists work that way, and if you have that type of following, more power to you. It's a wonderful income, but not everybody is like that, and that's totally okay. Having a consistent flow of content on your website is just as valid as selling out every time you have a drop. Because if you post that perfect product, it's going to sell out as soon as you post it, but there's still going to be more for people to get. They're going to be able to think about, well, I want to buy something as a Christmas present and I'm already paying for shipping, so I might as well buy more. And they don't have that pressure of, if I don't check out right now with this one item in my cart, I might lose it forever. Keep yourself accountable. Post products weekly, post products monthly, post products daily, whatever works for your schedule. Just put it on your content calendar, make a big deal about your drop, and keep on sharing your products. Keep learning, keep finding new things to do, keep finding new resources, keep engaging with new people. I mean, there is an infinite amount of ideas and activities out there that you could pursue, and being stagnant in our own thing is not as beneficial to your business, your brand, or your community. I haven't learned how to make another stuffed animal yet, but I have figured out how to exhaust the stuffed animal that I do know how to make in every way possible. And I did that just by learning. This pattern was created by an artist on Instagram, and I would search for the pattern and see what other people would do, and that would inspire me to do my own thing. I would have never thought about making baby bats if I didn't see them on Instagram first. And that is what you have to do. You have to continue consuming media in your field, continue seeing what other artists do, support other artists, buy their artwork, and promote them, and so we can all promote each other. The more artists that are becoming successful, the more mainstream this becomes. So it's not a competition. I have my own style, you have your own style. If I like your style, I'm gonna buy your stuff. This isn't mine. This is one of my favorite artists. And I've been following her for years at conventions. I buy something new from her every single year. I mean, if we mainstream the fact that artists can make a living, away disappears the concept of a starving artist, because there are millions of people at your fingertips every day. You don't have to wait for that curator to think that you're good enough to get it into a gallery and hope that people show up at the gallery that are going to like your specific niche. You can just find the community of people who are interested in your niche at your fingertips, and there you go. Support them. They support you. We all support each other. It's like a tribe. We're just a tribe of artists, and we're sharing our resources. There's a couple more notes I want to add just to finish everything off. Found out that one of the things that consumers are really into right now is how you're affecting the environment. Whether that's with your packaging or if you're donating proceeds of your income to a nonprofit, to a charity, if you were inspired by some type of like a mental health thing or a physical health thing that inspires your art, people want to know how you're affecting the community around you. And by sharing those things, you're more likely to get attention. And the last thing that I want to say, just remember that everybody has to start somewhere. Whenever we go onto YouTube and we type in how to start an art business, we get these creators who have hundreds of thousands of millions of subscribers and views, and their videos are perfect, and they look perfect, and they're very articulated, and they know exactly what to say, and their lighting is awesome, and they can just deliver their content perfectly, and it's a beautiful video. And we get intimidated by that because that's really hard. But that person that you're watching didn't start there. They started somewhere else, in their basement, with their smartphone, trying to just figure this out. And as they figured it out, every video, they figured out a little bit more. And they just delete that original content because they want to keep their brand looking crisp. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody has a crappy video. Everybody doesn't understand the thematics of cinematic videoing, or the way that the lighting is supposed to hit your face, or how to get your cats to behave while you're filming. It happens. Just do it. Just push through those insecurities. Do not let them chain you to your bed. Try. That's all you can do. And as you keep trying, you'll keep getting better. I promise. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, you are capable of amazing things. Bye. If this isn't even recording, I'm gonna be so mad. Hoping for the best. Whee!